Hello, Internet. How are we doing today? Good morning. It's Sunday. For Sunday with Scoob. You know, we're come in, hang out, paint some minis, chit chat about the week, drink coffee. But yeah, not a bad week. Morning, Mayflower. How are you today? Oh, yep. Got to turn on the chatty chat. All right, Sunday was. Oh. So that's good. Oh. Yeah, it's a morning. It's a morning. Oh. Oh. I'm doing good. Kind of a long last couple of days. D&D games yesterday went pretty well. Things are starting to move in a direction, and then I've got lots of stuff for notes to put into the World Anvil later. And got to work out some more plot stuff. And got last week's videos up, which is good. I mean, those are up. Those are great. That's awesome. So you can watch those. Should have next week's stuff up here pretty quick. Probably wouldn't hurt to go ahead and import those. Vinci, but I can do that. I'll probably work on that this afternoon after we get done painting today. So. Oh. So we have our orc group that we were painting last week. I'm gonna hopefully finish them up today. I mean, they've had a week to kind of dry and kind of see how they're looking. Find a way to brighten the leather just a little bit. Maybe 10 or something. See how it goes. Yep. We're gonna sit, we're gonna paint, and hang out. Voice channel's open for mods and cast and guests. And of course, you know, Patreon's at like a $12 tier or the $15 tier and higher can join in the chat and hang out. Forgot to get my water cup. Stream beats in the background. Yep. Couple of views, that's always good. Hoping that eventually more people watch. Figure out my big break, you know? Get to it. Sections, like we got some fur and stuff right here. And whatnot, so gonna see how this plays out. We'll have our colors from last week, which are all Vallejo paints. Yay, Vallejo. case I need some more. Grab them and do the things. Oh, stream looks good. Everything looks kind of good there. Alrighty. Brighten up that email. I think what we're gonna do is hammer copper. Armor bits and copper. Have a bronze or a brass.
Can I be heard?
Yeah, you can be heard. I can hear you.
Hello, hello.
All nice and loud. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Too bad. Started. You have a good week in school?
Yes. This next week I am not looking forward to because for some odd reason, our SOL for science got pushed into the beginning of this semester. So I have an SOL I gotta take Friday.
That sounds miserable.
I am so excited. Not.
I can tell. I can hear it in your voice. But that's, I mean, it's still, though. It's like get the SOL out of the way and kind of move on, right?
Yep.
That can't be terrible. Appropriate. Anything else interesting for the week?
Not really. I went to the park with some friends on Saturday, but besides that, nothing really has happened.
Ah. Fairly quiet then?
Yeah. Well, is it ever quiet in my house? That's the real question.
You know, that's probably a loaded question, so I think I'll avoid it. To be honest, it's probably where I'll probably avoid that one a little. I know this week I had plenty of experience listening in on the way classes are done with all this virtual learning.
Oh, jeez.
Well, my daughter didn't do so well in class last semester, so I'm making her sit in the studio and do all her classes. So that's making for an interesting change in my day-to-day, which I can't say is probably has been a bad thing because I've been able to get more productive stuff done and not get kind of sucked into the YouTube trap.
Oh, jeez.
There's a lot of things I try and learn and whatever, and I've realized last week that I spend a lot of time trying to learn things on YouTube and not enough time working on things. So it's like, huh. You know, this may not have been such a bad thing to have her kind of in the room while I'm working on things. But hearing some of the way the classes are going, it's like, oh wow.
Yeah, it's definitely confusing.
I don't know if confusing is the right word, but I think there's definitely a disconnect in terms of the expectation of what kids know and then what teachers know when it comes to doing all this school stuff. It's really kind of wild.
Yeah, I honestly feel bad for the teachers because there are so many students that once they get into the call or whatever, they mute their mic, turn off their video, and then leave.
Yeah, that's really kind of rude. And you wonder why kids are doing poorly in school. But I
Yep.
was also looking at, some of them just don't quite understand how to use the technology very well, or there's too many assumptions being made. Know what I mean? Like how
Yep.
assuming that certain kids can do certain things, and it's like, um, not really, because I think we in our efforts to make things easier to do, we've ended up, kind of eliminating all of the how to get the stuff prior to that. So it's like point and click, file dragging, uploading. Some of those things seem a little hard for some people to do.
I will be right back. Hang on.
Yeah, no worries. It's a hangout. We paint. We chat. That's always good. Playbacks are good. Production.
I've returned.
You have returned. Couple of social media posts.
At the moment, it looks like there's only 2 people watching.
That's okay. 2 people watching is always good. Anybody watching is good, whether it's live or on the playback, so it's all good. Comments are open, chat's there. It's still kind of new. We're only talking February. The hardest part is getting the exposure to let more people know. So you gotta that still trying to dial that in. That's hard.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I was never very good at social media. I'm learning. The nice thing is I get to work on my painting skills, whether people are watching or not. I'm still doing what I set out to do. Trying to get some copper on and water down, but not watering it down. All the big armor bits in the copper, I figured that'd be a prize. The week watching quite a few movies in the evening. I think Friday night I ended up doing 3 movies back to back. Watched Pacific Rim again. I don't remember the last time I actually watched the whole thing start to finish. I always seem to catch bits and pieces. Then watched Kong Skull Island, and then Godzilla King of the Monsters. Working on something for prep, and it's like, well, I had time to kill. I figured, you know, I'll just watch these movies and see how that goes.
So behind on like TV shows, movies, pretty much everything. Like, I started this one TV series, which is His Dark Materials.
Great series.
And I'm only on episode 4. Oh, the first season.
That's perfectly fine.
I keep saying, oh, I should probably go watch it, and then never go watch it.
I got through the whole first season, kind of binged it because I got really hooked, and then started the second season and was like, you know what, I need to go take care of something. And then next thing I know, I never come back to it. That's always been my thing. Is I don't really watch a lot of TV. I mean, there are times I watch the movie we review on Tuesday night. I'll watch it like early in the day because I'm like trying to do so many different things. And it's like, I think the only one I'm actually up to date current is WandaVision.
I remember seeing the review on WandaVision, and I was like, okay, maybe I should watch this. Then I heard jump scare and was like, okay, maybe not.
It's only one, and it's in the third episode. It's in the fourth episode.
Okay.
But if you've been up on the MCU, it's not terrible, but it does. They're being very smart with this, and the reveal in episode 5 is like, what are they up to next?
Yeah, so you see, the only Marvel movies I have seen are the first Avengers movie, Spider-Man, I think it was Far From Home, and then a tiny bit of Winter Soldier. That's it.
So you haven't watched Infinity War or Endgame?
Nope. Even though pretty much the entire movie has been spoiled for me, but whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. I can totally see that. It's kind of hard.
Yeah, pretty much, because I think Endgame came out when I was in 8th grade. So, pretty much as soon as everybody saw it in the class, somebody had to blurt out that so-and-so died!
Spoiler!
I'm just sitting there, like, this is like weeks and weeks later, and people are still spoiling it. I'm just over here like, I still haven't seen it!
Oh, that...
And then they're sitting there like, well, why haven't you seen it? Okay, so there's this thing called school. You know, we're in it right now. That's why.
Right? Yeah, I could totally get that. I mean, school's in session. You're trying to do the things there.
I had friends telling me to look at certain characters because even though that they were 8th graders at the time, they're still falling for them. Goodness gracious.
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, that's always been the thing, so I wouldn't worry about that too. Heal them. More of it done so it can start drying.
Yeah, the only reason I saw the first Avengers movie was I had watched it with my boyfriend. That is the only reason I saw it.
Not a bad reason.
Absolutely loved it. And then when we got to the very end, I recognized a certain somebody, and I got very excited. I saw that Ashley Johnson from Critical Role had made a very tiny cameo, and I immediately recognized her.
Yep. It's one at the time, or kind of one of the Whedon things. There's all kinds of Whedon actors that pop up in his work.
I can't get over the fact that her pretty much only line was, "I was saved by Captain America."
Hey, sometimes you just take the opportunities as you can get them and go from there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of work your way out from that. Stippling on the paint here on the shield because there's cracks and crevices. Filling the shield out to come back with a couple of different colors to get. The other things, I actually got more video game time in this Thursday. I was actually sat there and played the first Uncharted for a good chunk of the day after I got my videos and audio stuff. It was fun. I got to a point I'm a little stuck, but I think next time I go back, I'll be able to get...
That's what I hate about video games. I always get stuck somewhere and then never come back to said game.
Well, I'm trying to work through the franchise because I've only played the third one. So now that I have all of the franchise, it's like I'm gonna work my way through.
Yeah, I haven't played video games in a little while now, probably because a certain someone named my brother is on the system 24/7 and all of our systems connect to the same TV.
Oh, that sounds like a pain.
The amount of times I've tried to get on and he has said, "Well, I just got on," or "Why do your friends always play at this time?" Dude, you were playing like the past 3 days.
Yeah, I've had those conversations. It's kind of hilarious. It's like, you've been on all day. It's like, why can't you let your sibling have it for just a little bit? They're gonna kill you.
Yeah, it sounds like a certain somebody.
All right. We'll go that. We'll do that. Go that way.
I haven't played very many video games because, as you know, I get scared extremely easily. So I try to avoid games that are like obviously going to have some sort of jump scare in it or are obviously gory. But then every once in a while I come across something that has both of those topics.
Totally get that. Like, what's a recent one? Like, I know when I was working on Call of Cthulhu, they had some really good moments in it.
Call of Cthulhu, I am still surprised I was able to sit through that because anytime you died, I got so scared.
One of these days I'll go back and finish it.
Yeah, now pretty much everybody in the community can pick on me now because of that. Especially Shad and Saladin. Yes, I'm calling you two out.
Yeah, well, it's not much of a stretch for Saladin to like pick. It really isn't. I mean,
yeah, the amount of times that dude has thrown short jokes at me is insane. Like, I can't control it. I can't control that I'm 5'2".
yeah. It's all good. It is all good. I think I'm gonna get another one of these lights as a backup. They're good for helping me see all the little. Have to be careful because the battery does not last forever. It takes a while for it to charge.
Rye guy has arrived.
It's a rye guy.
The guy that is the rye. Made of the whole wheat and everything that's in the ground. No, was finishing up some schoolwork.
Oh joy.
Yeah.
How'd class go this week?
It was good. You know, it's since the class is focused on teaching teachers, teaching comp, it went a little bit further. She went further into detail on how, using different techniques and stuff and what you would do.
That's good.
So that's what the homework assignments were focused on. And then the additional stuff for the grad students, I just have to look at. There's really nothing to do. She's like, because the whole independent research is tied to some kind of conference in the fall.
Oh, really?
And she said one of it, if you want to get ideas, look at some of the stuff that students and people have done in the past in the conference from last year.
Okay.
So she's like, just take a look at it, and it's like I could probably take a look at that like whenever. So, but all the major assignments are done.
That's good.
Yeah.
Major assignments done, then what?
Now, I don't know. I have today is Super Bowl Sunday, so
Put in
my orders
football.
for wings and pizza. So I usually get a large pizza from Why Not, and I'm going to get wings from the Dirty Buffalo.
Dirty Buffalo. Is that a new place, or are you talking Buffalo Wild Wing?
No, the Dirty Buffalo is it's a local place. It's been around for a while.
Oh, okay.
And I used to go to it a lot when I was driving to ODU back and forth.
Okay.
My friend introduced me to it, and then just recently they opened up. They have 2 locations in Norfolk, and they recently just opened up a third one.
Cool.
Over here in Virginia Beach, you know where the Target is on Princess Anne and Independence?
Yeah.
Yeah, there used to be an old Ruby Tuesdays, and it closed, so they moved into that. So since it's closer than going all the way to campus now, I've been going there a lot when I wanted wings.
Yeah, so that would be a little closer. I mean, it's like just down the street from you.
Oh yeah, and if you do want to try it, they are going to open up a 4th location near you, over in Grassfield, I believe, in that area.
Oh snap!
So yeah, it's a local place. They have a good variety of wings. So
there's plenty of. Oh, you know what? I think I saw where they're moving in. The Grassfield, right?
Yeah, over in that area.
Yeah, there's a Walmart next to a Chick-fil-A, and there used to be an old Applebee's there, but the Applebee's is closed, and I think we saw a sign for the Dirty Buffalo yesterday, because we went out for Chick-fil-A after the stream yesterday.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, yeah, okay. That'll be cool to see.
Oh, yeah, it's really good. I like it. I go there a lot, so... Their wings are just their sauce and stuff that is definitely unique. So my 2 favorite flavors I've been going back to now, because I tried all the flavors to figure out the ones I like and the ones I don't like, is one is a spicy garlic ranch, and the other one is sweet heat mesquite.
Sweet
heat mesquite. It's really good. And then some of the dry rubs are really good. I usually get the Raging Cajun one. So yeah, they have like 25 different flavors. So
impressive.
Don't quote me, but I know it's high. It's a pretty high count of flavors.
Interesting. Very interesting.
But yeah, I'll go and put my order in once I can get the online ordering is currently unavailable. Oh, that's not good.
No, that's either going to be they're really busy today.
Oh yeah, if not, I'll fall back on them.
Going up in person and going, hey, I'd like some wings, please. Something else.
I usually if not, I go to Sunrise. So Sunrise Pizza, their wings are good. That's my fallback.
Oh, okay.
Is it bad that I didn't know the Super Bowl was this weekend until Friday?
No. I mean, the only reason I remembered was I was watching the governor's conference speech on earlier this week, and was like, some of the comments were criticizing him for he wants to tell us to not have large gatherings for the Super Bowl, yet we know he's gonna have a large gathering. The whole "do as I say, not as I do" thing that a lot of people really don't like.
Which conference?
He had one, I think, a Tuesday morning or Wednesday morning. Really wild. It was like before 2 o'clock.
Yeah, because he
And
usually does at 2 o'clock.
yeah, he's normally at 2 o'clock on either Tuesdays or Thursday. Yet this week it was earlier in the day, and they were talking about one of the not really a mandate, but one of the things he wants to have in place is by March 14th, having a plan for back to school for students, get them back in the classroom. And it's not necessarily a mandate to have all the kids back in school, but a kind of a strong recommendation. And there was a lot of talk about that, and then some of the questions he was asked, kind of a comical. It was kind of the usual fare, like how do we handle this, or there's that new variant of COVID that's from South Africa that's been found in Virginia.
Yeah.
And is the vaccine going to be really helpful against that versus the strains they have already identified? His response was, well, the only way to keep it from mutating is everybody to be vaccinated. And they're going, you're a doctor. Did you fail? Did you forget that? Or is it just we don't want to talk about the reality that vaccine or not, it's still going to mutate? That's what viruses do. What everything does. Mutations are what keeps things going. I don't know. Kind of one of those things. You just kind of take it in stride as you can and go from there.
Yeah. Okay, I wanted to know which one because I know I watched the one in the morning about the schools.
Yeah.
Like, well, they've, they're trying to get the kids back into the classrooms.
Yeah, which I mean, I get it. I think I mean, May can sit there and give us her perspective because she's a high schooler.
She is the student. You are in the weeds, May.
So,
Ay, that's all I gotta say. Just ay.
But it's like, I mean, there are so many reports across the country and things about how students are doing really badly. And one of the things in the governor's thing this week was the person who got Teacher of the Year for 2021, and everything, and it's like talking about how like test scores and everything else are down so much. But as May pointed out, it's like kids, it's like the high school kids, it's like, oh yeah, hey, let's do our virtual class, but let's log in, then turn off our mic and camera, and it's like, I'll taste it a little bit. I know you're all excited.
Ooh, the colors. Yeah, that's yeah. Kids can just turn off the mic and the camera and not focus.
Oh, it's they'll turn it off and then walk away. It's like, that's rude.
Yeah, that's why a lot of my teachers have started trying to make a mandate saying that everybody needs to have their camera on if they have a working camera. So far, and I think 2 of my classes, I'm the only one. I'm the only one that has the camera on.
Well, if you guys were all issued Chromebooks, I mean, they did this initiative to give a Chromebook to every student. It's like they should have a camera built in the Chromebook, and it's not the best camera. Beside the point.
Yeah, I have both a Chromebook or school issue Chromebook, and then I have my personal laptop.
So it's like,
Yeah.
I think I heard one teacher was telling one of the kids, it's like, who uses their own laptop for school? One kid's like, I do. And I was like, well, when you come to school, you can't use your laptop. You have to use the school issued one. So you need to figure out how to get a school issued one. I'm like, you're the teacher. Make it happen. I mean, seriously. The kids are having enough struggle with trying to do things, and you're going to sit here and be like, well, if you don't have a school issued laptop, you can't get the building. Really?
Yeah, I use my school issued Chromebook for school when I go, because I'm a hybrid learner, so I go into the school one day, then I'm at home the next day, and it's just back and forth.
Yeah.
And when I go into the school, I use my Chromebook, and then when I'm at home, I just use my personal laptop. So.
Well, I made sure both kids have the school issued Chromebooks, because one thing working in IT, it's like if they're providing the equipment, take advantage of it. They'll make sure everything's good for it. Sometimes one of your biggest problems with your own personal equipment is sometimes things don't mesh up right because settings tweak.
Yep. The only reason I got my Chromebook was on the first day of school, I had opened up my Chromebook and I was getting ready to start going to class. My laptop crashed.
Oh,
in the middle of the night.
Oh, that kind of sucks.
So as soon
I
as
understand that.
Chromebooks, we zoomed over there.
But yeah, apparently there's such a downfall in like the quality of education for kids with everything from March till now. It's like kind of sucks.
I can, I kind of had a feeling that might have happened, especially with a lot of this, like mentioning, students turning their cameras off and whatever, or just walking away, or not having that self-discipline that when you're in post-secondary, you have that, or you have to build that self-discipline.
Yeah.
Because a lot of stuff is online or interactive or, some way connected to the classroom other than just being in the classroom. But when you're secondary, maybe, you have to pull in that engagement, and that's usually through, physical interaction.
Yeah.
And as much as more than me, because I'm not the parent. I'm not a parent, or May knows more than me because she's a student. Or I know from a perspective is, it's part of the development. There's social, cognitive, and emotional development that happens through each stages of the school. So when you are thrust into this, well, kind of thrust without, an unthrust of a thrust. I don't know. That's a double entendre, but they were kind of thrust into this situation because of what the situation is. But when all the studies across the board have indicated the transmissions is low to 0 to none in the classroom, you got to get them back in the classroom some way with guidance.
I mean, getting them back in the classroom is important. My fear is, I mean, it took us so long. I mean, my fear is that once everybody's back in the classroom, all of this work put into virtual options for, because even pre-pandemic, there were situations where kids could not make it to the classroom.
Yeah.
For a variety of reasons.
Yes.
And now it's like, and the teachers had to learn how to do lesson plans for kids who weren't in the classroom. They've been avoiding it for years. I'm sure there's a few diamonds in the rough, but to sit here and like, oh, we're going to go back to the classroom, and then all of this effort in lesson plans and technology and stuff is going to just fall to the wayside, and they're just not going to, and it's not going to continue to develop. And then there's the fact there was such a learning curve for not just the students who'd been growing up in the, oh, well, school happens in this building, in this room, to, well, with the teachers as well, where it's like, how do I build out the skills to teach a virtual classroom? And what's even worse is the fact that there are so many is the fact that public school system's been delaying getting everybody back in the building for a variety of reasons. But
Yeah.
private schools have been, back to business as usual, so to speak. I have an aunt who teaches private school, and then there's reports from other private schools. They've been operating 5 days a week in the classroom. And then so much as you cross the state line, like one of my daughter's friends, she's in North Carolina, and they're 4 days a week in school, 1 day asynchronous at home. It's like,
yeah, there's a way to do it. It's just there's some districts that aren't willing to do it.
yeah,
And then on top of that, not even the unwillingness, you have, you'll have a group of teachers or, educators that just don't want to go back.
yeah,
Which, even though 0 to no transmission, it's still possible. And even if you are a health risk, it can really take you down. So
yeah. I'm not trying to take away from the fact there are legit
Yeah.
concerns,
Yeah.
and I don't want to sit here and sound like I'm not acknowledging those. But it's just the whole. It's like there's been so much progress. I'd hate for all to be lost because of, I guess, things that could have been things that could, stand to really be developed. Like, I don't think I was talking last night, and I had said it's like, the public school system's been about 10 years behind technology. And this kind of, one of the benefits out of this whole pandemic thing is they've really had to jumpstart their technology growth to do things like allow kids to learn virtually in primary education levels outside of those isolated online school K through 12 things. And it really had to help really had to force the teachers kind of step up their technology game too. So many of them are also really upset over hey, I've got to do all this stuff, and it's like I don't really want, and I'm not getting provided X, Y, and Z from the system to help facilitate this. And I can see that's a legitimate gripe.
Yeah. There's always a balance. You want to move forward, but you got to provide the service if you're going to move forward. The service, the infrastructure. I know the one thing I saw going through at least our state legislator is that there's gonna be a bill passed where it's gonna give the option for both with all the stuff that's been built. Don't let it go away, like you said. So going forward, there might not be any more quote unquote snow days anymore with the virtual classroom.
Yeah.
Because they could just be like, that you're not going to close the school. You just go to virtual for that day, and you don't have to, try to find an extra day to take out or go on the weekend or add extra hours on the day.
Exactly.
Just
Like we had
move
a
it to
snow
virtual.
day in Chesapeake for the first time this year, and it's like, well, I mean, make it an asynchronous day instead of, oh no, we're closing it all down. It's like, but I realize you probably have to with the way they had the calendar and stuff set, you had to get school board approval for it.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping a bill like what you're talking about, Rye, is going to be like, yeah, they'll build that in
Yeah,
there.
it's
It's like, oh,
it's a
inclement
bipartisan
weather.
bill.
Don't come to the building, but work asynchronous. I mean, how hard is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, it's a bipartisan bill going through our state legislator. Like they're pretty much like, we built this infrastructure over the last whatever months, and it still needs to be built out a little bit more, but you should not take away the option because that'll, you don't have to take away those days off that are already built into the system or add in extra hours on the day or go in on a Saturday, just turn it virtual and then just keep trucking along. So
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that, Mayflower?
Honestly, because like I said before, I'm a hybrid learner, so I go into the school one day and I'm at home the next. Honestly, it's definitely been confusing, and then on top of that, there's still, even though we're at home, or a lot of kids are at home the entire time, there are still students that are not turning in their homework, not turning in their assignments, not doing tests, etc., etc.
There's always going to be those students, though.
Yeah, it is true.
That I can tell you from, I've gone through every part of education. K through 12, associates, bachelors, grad school. There's always going to be just people that aren't going to want to just do it.
Yeah.
The further you move up the chain, you're going to continue to see that, but it's going to make you like question why are you investing this time in your education when you get the post-secondary, but you're not putting in the effort? Because when I saw that, I'm just like, huh. So it's okay for you to waste the money. So anybody else that's helping provide for you, you just don't care. So, because I've seen it, and it's just like, wow, you're just wasting money. And some people, it'll be like they're wasting like scholarship money or grant money that could have gone to someone else who really, really wants to focus on a career path of some kind. So,
yeah, I'm kind of in agreement there. I think I had one of those conversations with my son. That was like, public working to get your high school diploma has got to be the easiest thing school-wise you'll ever do, because it's literally just do what they ask, turn it in on time, and you'll get through. Especially if you put your best effort into it. Because I mean, no offense, but the curves are not that hard, not that steep. I mean, they're trying to have, in order to have their federal funding, they have to make sure they have X number of people graduating school.
yeah.
So, and it's not like they don't bend over backwards to help when you ask them to help, because there are a lot of teachers that overall want to make sure they see the kids succeed. But it sucks when you sit there and you don't do it, and you just basically are telling them, it's like, I don't care what you want. I'm not doing it on your schedule. There's so many post-school things for that. But, it's all good.
Yeah, it's there is help everywhere. Just a matter of sometimes it's a matter of just doing it.
Yeah.
Like there's been stuff I've done in every part of school, public school, ECPI, ODU, where it's dry, but you had to get through it. There you will hit the dryness at some point, but you have to get through it.
It's like they're saying, well, like, being the content creation is like, there are times for lack of motivation, but you really have to make your own motivation.
Yeah, you got to push your way through it. Meatball parm. What do you think? I know I just had a squirrel moment, but I'm looking up pizzas to order. I already
this
ordered
morning
my wings.
show or early afternoon shows, like we can be all about the squirrel moments.
Okay, so I'm scrolling through the why not order, and I have my usuals in the back of my mind what I do, but I see this meatball parm, and it looks so damn good that I might get this instead.
Hey, try something new. I mean, it's kind of the thing. It's like, let's try new things. Let's try a different thing.
Oh yeah, I'm looking up at the other ingredients I can add to this as a sauce. Instructions: cheese, topping, cheese, toppings. Oh yeah. Probably write my review for the movie I watched and do some other writings.
I got a conference call after the show today. Can't go into too much detail on it, but
okay.
And we should still have a guest lined up for Tuesday night. Fun.
Okay.
Australian podcaster who does a lot of game related content.
That should be fun.
I think I know who this is.
Maybe? I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
But yeah, I mean, even so, Tuesday's show should be good. It'll be a good show. There's a lot of interesting topics, some interesting odds and ends. I don't know. odds and ends will be dry, and then all of a sudden it hit that spike, where I'll just find articles. They just fall in my lap. They literally just fall in my lap sometimes.
I
I'm
don't
like,
think they necessarily
wow.
fall, but they definitely spark the alert on the.
Oh yeah. And like a few people I've talked to that have been, since we've been to YouTube, there's been a lot more people watching. I mean, not in the chat because some people can't figure out how to use it, but they're like, man, they're enjoying it. They're like, keep it going. And I talked with a friend last night, went out somewhere, and they're about to start their own little podcast about just stuff, not as family friendly, but of stuff. But and she was just like, she'd watch our stuff and be like, yeah, you got any pointers? I'm like, and I told them, it's like, it'll take you a few, how many you record, but you just got to find your voice and your character. Yeah, and then no matter if like I told him, it was like, me and Scuba, before the podcast, we used to have these conversations offline for a long time, so we know how to riff off each other already. So you just got to find that point to build off of, or not be afraid to go, not be afraid of just speaking in that character that you have, or speaking to the topic, or speaking off the topic, that adding on top of the topic, because you can't be rigid of who is watching. You just got to speak free and let it go. You got to find your voice. I kept beating the bush with that, and
Yeah, totally.
and I mentioned, there's like, yeah, like if technical issues happen, try to play off of it within the topics that you have going on, like when you were warping through the multiverse that day.
That's still some pretty
I
funny,
built off
bits right there.
WandaVision with that. I was like, why are you tapping into Doctor Strange now? Warping. Speaking of WandaVision, I mean, we'll save it for our discussion. How did you watch the episode, and what did you think?
I thought the episode was great.
Broad strokes without saying anything. I am excited because it keeps going into what I keep saying. It provides some answers, but in those answers, it adds a heck of a lot more questions.
Oh yeah.
So you can do this, but that, and then this and that, but what about that and this, and then woohoo, and then is it what we think it is or not what we think it is? Is it that thing where you mentioned when we were doing the Mandalorian stuff? Is it the most obvious thing? Could it be the most obvious thing? Or are they doing that thing where it is the obvious thing, but they're making us think it's not the obvious thing, but then it is the obvious thing? So
that hurt my brain.
He's talking about the reveal at the end of episode 5
without saying a lot yet.
I mean, that reveal at the end of episode 5, it just wild.
Yes, because it makes you add more questions and answers in the same sentence. Because it's like, we have an idea based on what movies and stuff is coming, but at the same time, is it, or is this something else that pertains to being a red herring? So it's kind of one of those things, like from the Mandalorian season 2, when Baby Yoda made contact, and everybody thought, well, if they're pertaining to that part of the era of Star Wars, there's only one person, but that's not possible. And they made us question the obvious, and then it was the obvious. And it was bad to the bone when Luke showed up. So
yeah, I listened to your review on WandaVision, and I'm kind of interested. Only problem is I am extremely behind on Marvel movies, so I'm not going to understand a thing that's going on if there's any sort of reference. And then same thing with Star Wars. I've never seen a Star Wars movie in my life.
I sense a marathon.
Yeah, I think we've been saying that for years. She hasn't quite gotten around to it.
You gotta watch the good and the bad to understand the
True.
context of the nerddom that is Star Wars.
Yeah, I've had a lot of friends that have been trying to get me into so many different fandoms. Like, for example, Percy Jackson. I have 2 friends that have been trying to get me into the fandom. I accidentally read the last book, not knowing it was the last book. I know.
Isn't that fun?
Very smart move there, but whatever. And then I've been putting it off because of that. Because once I get back to that book, I'm already gonna know what happened. So, and every time I bring it up, my friend's just sitting there like, "That was dumb, wasn't it?"
Jeez, how was I supposed to know?
I had no idea. This was back in 6th grade. I had no idea what I was doing. Okay.
The Percy Jackson franchise isn't bad. It's definitely one of those. It was like they were trying to look for another Harry Potter boon. Because I mean, the Harry Potter films really kind of did a lot for, you know, like a longevity of a franchise.
Yeah, that's the one fandom that I'm in, is the Harry Potter fandom. That's the only one. Or one of the only ones, at least.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, I read the books back in 7th grade. And my parents were like, "Oh, just read this first 10 pages and see how you like it." My brother, who is a junior, read the first 10 pages and was not interested at all. Me, on the other hand, I read the first 10 pages and then kept going, and I could not stop.
Nothing wrong with that.
And yet, I still haven't seen any of the movies.
You probably not missing much.
But the Harry Potter movies?
Yes.
Well, I know I read the other day on my news feed for movies or movies and shows. I just had a squirrel moment. I'm sorry, but they're developing a Harry Potter series on HBO Max.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about that. Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see what they do there. So.
Yeah, I can't speak English. There we go. Okay. There's one fandom that I just got into very recently, which is the anime fandom, specifically My Hero.
Oh, see, anime has got multiple subfans. Oh, multiple.
Yeah, there's
things,
a lot of subgenres with anime. I mean, you can be an anime fan. But then under that, there's a lot of sub stuff. So.
Yeah, getting into anime is something that the Teens on Parade crew has been trying to get me into for the longest time now, and I was never interested. And then my boyfriend and one of my closest friends finally did it.
Now it's like, oh, I guess I gotta get used to this thing. I know. A buddy of mine came over Thursday night, and we did we started the Gundam franchise, Mobile Suit Gundam, and it was like, that's going to be a kind of a long investment of time.
That's definitely a long investment of time because it depends. Like,
we're starting with the whole. We're starting all the way back at the beginning. I actually started with the like the origin series before we get into the first anime that was released in the 70s. Kind of starting there. First coming, maybe the wash.
Yeah, like with anime, it's definitely a huge catalog you can have. You know, like you said, My Hero, it's one of my favorites. I have like 3 figurines. I'm gonna keep getting some more, but My Hero is a big one. Like you have the old school anime groups, you have the new school anime groups, you have you know, subgenres where you have people that are fans of Shonen Jump anime, which is My Hero is one of them. One of the ones that is in that catalog. You have Dragon Ball in that catalog, Black Clover. You have a new one they just started playing, Jujutsu Kaisen. There's Attack on Titan, Naruto. Those are Shonen Jump animes. One Piece. And then you have the like psychological deep thriller ones or the adult theme ones like Death Note and Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo. Black Lagoon is an adult theme one. So yeah, there's a lot of variety. That's the one good thing about anime is that it's not. I mean, it's a niche to an extent, but at the same time, the vastness in the storytelling goes beyond just being just something that is kid friendly. It goes beyond, and it focuses on story and character and lore, just depending on which subset you're going into.
Yeah. So. Oh, sorry.
Because like I can like look right now, like right behind my laptop, I have like stacks, box sets of anime, that I've bought in the past. I mean, I don't really buy, physical media as much as I do because I can just watch everything on Crunchyroll or Funimation. But yeah, if you want to like scope out different anime stuff, I would check out those two. Those are the two big places that stream anime: Crunchyroll and Funimation.
Yeah, at the moment, I fell in love with My Hero.
Yeah.
At the moment, not liking two of the characters, which is Bakugo and then Mineta. I don't like those two at the moment.
Oh, there's
You're probably not the only one who doesn't like them because aren't they like the heels or the really kind of corny ones?
Bakugo is basically the he is like, yeah, well he's mean, but the further you get into the series, he becomes that like counterpart to Deku.
That's
he's
the insult. He better change. I don't like him at the moment.
Like they are just rivals. They're not bad. There's not a good or bad thing. Good versus bad. They are just they are the Goku and Vegeta of this series. Like they're just rivals.
And then there's Mineta.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, like that's one of the typical tropes in a shonen is like there's always a rival character to the main character who's trying to reach the top, but at the same time there's someone that's paralleling him, but they're usually like arrogant or kind of like selfish, but not completely bad. Like they'll be selfish, but they will help. Like I have do I have it right here or is it in my tray? That's Digimon Adventures. Yeah, it's out in my tray, but I got the My Hero Academia movie on physical media, the one that I watched last year and reviewed. If you want to check out my review, go to ryreviews.com if you want to check it out. But yeah, like you'll see in that one where what season are you on, or where are you at, May, in it?
Season 1, episode 7, I think.
Okay. Once you get further, you'll start to see that their relationship evolve into something else.
Okay.
Trust me. I mean, he's still arrogant, and you might not like him. I'm not going to say that you will like him, but you will understand his character arc and why he is the way he is.
Yeah, my boyfriend keeps telling me, I know you don't like him. He will change, I promise.
Yeah. He changes. He changes. He's basically like if Scuba picked up as like they are the Goku and Vegeta of this. Like Vegeta is a straight up arrogant prick a lot of the times, but the further you go into the series,
nice way of putting it,
he evolves into something different, especially in Dragon Ball Super. Like if you follow Dragon Ball Super and then you follow the manga, which I am, I'm reading the manga currently. Like he is a different kind of prideful person. So he still gets pissed at Goku because he wants to be better than him, but he's not like evil about it. He's just like this stupid It's like, why you always gotta beast me?
Yeah. That whole bit with Goku. Some wild stuff the two of them have gone through.
Yeah.
And I mean, and the worst part is like the fact that it's like you want Goku to, it's like at first you kind of want Goku to hate him, but Goku just, it's not in his nature.
Yeah, he's too he's a pure of heart, you know, fully character. Like he just kind of is, and he gets stern when he needs to be, but most of the time he's just acceptance and just jolly. And
yeah, it's like he always sees the better part of people.
Yeah,
doesn't see, and he always, I mean, it's, he takes it as friendly competition, and that's what makes him better. In fact, he's like, in the end, it's like we're like, you get better, and then you drive me to be better, and then I drive you to be better, and it's so simple, so kind of hilarious. It's amazing how much of the world can't acknowledge or accept that.
oh yeah, it's a very interesting. The thing is it's like, you know, Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball Super. I never talk about GT. I hate GT. I'll talk about it another time.
GT's not
But
considered
there
canon.
is a lot of underlying character moments in the series, especially pulled from the manga, that people don't always realize, because the fights and the action is what, you know, Dragon Ball is known for. But there is a lot of intricacies inside of it, and a lot of the stuff that it's based off of. And that's why with this what they call the Dragon Ball Renaissance, when it came back, like, it's even more popular than when it was back in the day. Like, it's insane how astronomically more powerful, more profitable it is for Shueisha, who, you know, is the one that runs Toei Animation and Shonen Jump stuff. So the companies that run all those mangas and animes and stuff. That's why the fan base in Dragon Ball are just like, when are you bringing the anime back? Because it didn't stop in the manga. The manga's gone past where they stopped in the series, and it's really, really good. And everybody's just wondering when they're going to adapt it.
Yeah, so far I've been told not to watch Attack on Titan just because my friend started watching it and immediately realized Crystalline's not gonna hate this. She's gonna absolutely hate this.
You know, I can appreciate
why did they
that
say
to a
why?
point,
Okay,
but
I'm a
I
big
hate when
Attack on Titan fan. Why did your friends say that? Like, what is it that you like or dislike in when it comes to anime?
I just don't do well with gore. I get scared easily. It's just not, like, Attack on Titan's definitely not gonna work well.
Yeah, I would. Yes. There's a lot of gore.
Yes.
I'm thinking, because I'm pretty knee deep into the series. Yes, it's not all the time, but it happens, and it will catch you off guard if you're not expecting it.
Yeah, it definitely has its moments.
Yeah, the same person that got me into My Hero tried to get me into another anime called The Promised Neverland or something along those lines.
That is
Fun.
I can tell you about The Promised Neverland. It's really good. The anime is really good. The manga, because I read the whole manga. It gets really dark and really disturbing.
I got scared first episode.
Yeah, it gets really. If you get scared at the first episode, don't watch it. Because it gets worse. Because I've read the manga, it gets worse. I'm not saying worse like it's a terrible anime. Like, when it comes to the material and just its psychological horror kind of stuff that happens later in the series, and
I'll do well with that.
there's a lot of psychological horror, body horror. They do develop the world, like, it's really deep. Promised Neverland is really deep, but it starts to mess with your mind. So with the kind of torture that they do in there. So
Yeah, no thanks. Thanks, but no thanks.
if it comes to any anime and manga, and if I've watched it, I will give you the stamp of approval. At least I know what will turn you off.
Okay. Saladin surprisingly got me into an anime. Surprisingly.
Which one?
I can't remember the Japanese name, but it's something along the lines of like New World Online or something like that.
What's it called again?
New World Online. I don't remember the Japanese name.
Sword Art Online?
No. I know it's not Sword Art. I know it's not that one. I can't remember the name of it.
All right. Can you give me a premise? I might be able to figure out that way.
Okay. So it's like it feels like it's like D&D because they're battling monsters you would kind of see in D&D. There's stats that are like D&D.
There's a lot of animes that do that fusion of MMO RPG into real life, especially a lot nowadays. So when you say it has stats, are the characters in this like fantasy world and they're playing role playing?
Yeah, it's kind of they're like outside of the fantasy world and then they put on a headset and then that brings them into the world. So
That sounds an awful lot like Sword Art. Or
That sounds like
Kokyoko.
Sword Art.
I know for a fact it's not Sword Art. That's the only thing.
Because all the other animes that use that premise, they don't have that headgear.
Well, the Code Lyoko has pods the kids sit in
Yeah.
when they go to do that. But that was late that was early aughts. That dropped.
Like there's Log Horizon, there is craptastic. Let me bring up Funimation. That's the only way I'm going to figure this out.
I'm looking
There
at
is
it right
no, there is one where is it wrong to hook up with women in dungeons? What's one of the ones I've watched recently?
Yeah. Goblin Slayer is another one.
Goblin Slayer is one of them, but I don't think you'd be watching that one. Let me log into my account.
Oh, got it. Okay. I am going to butcher saying this, but Bofuri,
Hold on. Do. Bo Fury, is that what you said?
yes.
That must be new. Because I just logged into my account 2020, so it dropped last year.
Yep.
Add to my queue. Bo Fury, I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max out my defense.
Yes. There you go.
Okay.
Interesting.
I'll check this out. But yeah, if you like those like fantasy, let me think. You're impressionable teenager. No, because there's a lot in that genre, and it just depends on because anime can be cheeky and sometimes a little overt with some of the innuendos.
Yes.
But it's not they can be overt with some of the innuendos, but at the same time it's not a fact of that they're trying to be pompous of the fact that's part of their culture. I did a whole ideology project on it, but if you do want something a little more tame, you know, that is kind of just a little drama, a little enjoyable. Snow White with red hair, that would be one I think you might like.
Okay.
I'm bringing it up because this is one I watched a long time ago. Snow White with the red hair, that's a pretty good one. It's a really enjoyable one. You might like that one. If you can get past the innuendos, it is pretty hilarious. I think it was pretty hilarious. Me and my girlfriend Angelica watched it. We thought it was hysterical. And you might want to add it if you want to watch it. Scoob. It's called and you thought there is never a girl online. They tap into like a browser type of MMO, and it focuses on this girl who is completely into her character. That in the game, that since she marries this guy's character, that she thinks that they are really married in real life. It's kind of hilarious. It's only 12 episodes, but it's hilarious.
Sounds like it.
We watched it in like one day because we just couldn't stop watching it because it was so funny. There's a lot of animes I've watched. I'm not going to recommend a lot of them because they can get brutal, and you don't like brutal. I'm trying to find ones in your alley that you might like. Yeah, I gotta start watching that. Log Horizon, the third season dropped. I need to add this to my queue. I might watch it after the cast. Because I was going to write my review today because I watched Malcolm and Marie on Friday.
Okay.
But I think I need another day to think about it. It's another stage play film. So it's one that will catch your eye, Scoob, because you definitely like those. And it focuses on two characters. It literally is just two characters, Malcolm and Marie, but played by Zendaya and John David Washington. And it's them in their house, and it's just them on their highs and lows of their relationship. And it takes place after a like movie premiere, because Malcolm is like a director, and then his wife Marie is like an actress and or a model of some kind. You don't really know, but it's pretty interesting, and it's a very dialogue heavy, play styled format kind of film.
Interesting.
But it all takes place in their house. It all takes place one night, and it's just kind of interesting, and it will catch you off guard.
Really?
Yeah. On a lot of stuff. Add to queue. Okay. So that's where season 1 went. Okay. So Log Horizon is on Crunchyroll, but season 1 wasn't there, but only season 2. So here on Funimation, season 1 is on Funimation, but not season 2. But season 3 is up here. So
maybe it was one of those things with the distribution rights, maybe.
Yeah, probably. You might be on to something there.
First time.
You are the smart one. I just happen to be here. But yeah, add Log Horizon if you want to watch it. May, that might be one you like. It's very much, and it's when people talk about sword art, a lot of comparisons are done to Log Horizon because it's in the same kind of vein. Like these people get trapped as their characters, but they don't know why. But it doesn't. But it stays on that topic, and it just focuses them living a normal life or try to live normally in this MMO fantasy world.
Okay.
And like when you move through the 2 seasons, you start to understand what happened. So everybody's been clamoring for a 3rd season because it ended like 3 or 4 years ago, the anime, and they just this year, started doing season 3. So I'm excited.
Yeah, if there's any ones that you think I would like that may have innuendos, I'm okay with them. There's a couple I might understand, but there's also probably a lot that are gonna fly over my head anyways. So.
Probably
oh yeah,
not
it's when I'm speaking of innuendos, they're on a intimate kind of situation.
Yeah, we'll
I'm trying to dance around the words. Because I know, trying to stay family friendly. Like, if you've watched any anime, yeah, you will know what I'm talking about. You will know exactly.
Talking about. Oh Lord.
Exemplify the female character. I'm gonna put it in that way.
Oh no.
Exemplify or objectify? That's kind of one of those things.
It all depends on. Ooh, what the heck kind of pizza is this? Squirrel moment. I'm
there
sorry.
We go, another squirrel moment.
It's a breakfast pizza. Okay, that's why it looked delicious. Okay. No, I'm looking for. I'm just gonna go with the one I usually get with. Wait, where did it go? The meatball parm, pizza sauce, ricotta romano, and mozzarella. Yes, I am doing that. Get the big ass pizza. Big pizza. I'm sorry, that slipped.
You're fine.
All good.
Yeah, because I'm gonna stick sausages on here. No, prosciutto. No, I'll put sausage. All right, vote sausage or spicy sausage.
Spicy sausage.
Okay.
I don't know.
That was a quick answer, Scoob. You're like, nothing else matters.
Yeah, I like spicy sausage on pizzas, man. Good.
But yeah, I do too. I was gonna side with that, but I was like, let's see what Scoob picks. Put it to a vote. You picked right, and I like it. Caesar salad? No, I don't want a Caesar salad. Hold up. Maybe I want something else on the order. No, I don't. But yeah, those are some animes I think you'll like if you have a Crunchyroll Funimation account. I think Crunchyroll you can actually sign up for free. You just have commercials and have to wait for certain things, but.
When I was watching My Hero yesterday, we could barely get through like 5-10 minutes without ad. And it's just not one ad, it's like 6.
That's nothing new.
That's a welcome to cable TV.
I got so frustrated.
It's understandable. I meant, like, there was an article that I read. I know I shared it to Scoob about how, like, there's because of the way that people watch TV nowadays, like when streaming services go to the format of once a week, people want to like downvote or downgrade it like it's bad because they can't watch it right away. And the article goes into the fact that people's watching habits has affected the way they can enjoy TV, and they basically lost the ability to watch TV of how it used to be for so many years.
Oh, so the event-driven stuff, basically.
Yeah.
Referring to.
Used
to be, it's
and
like,
it focused.
Right, it's Friday night, TGIF. Yeah. Let's see what happens on these shows, or it's like the big ones, like when Battlestar Galactica and Star Trek and Stargate. It's like, all right, the new episodes this week. Got to see what happened after that cliffhanger, and then shows like Netflix come in where it's like, hey, here's the whole season at once. I don't have to wait.
Yeah,
I can just literally just go next.
Yeah, and also it focuses on that, with the binge watching, but also focus on that instant gratification. People want the answers now, instead of appreciating the fact of what true storytelling is. It's methodical. It's moving. It moves at a certain pace. Like if you drop everything in an instant, what do you have but a lackluster experience? Because the instant gratification, people want that now, and then they move to the next, to the next, to the next, and then they just kind of lose track of what the appeal of whatever show, movie, story, book that you're reading or doing.
Yep.
But I mean, like, the article was really good because it wasn't biased. It goes back and forth. It talks about the pros and cons, but there's the people should appreciate what they have, because what it is that with the way that Disney Plus is doing their shows, like it keeps it in the talking points. you speculate, you contemplate what is true, what is not, what's going to happen, and it builds up that anticipation for the next episode or the next book or the next chapter in the manga. So the next comic book what do they call it? Comic book edition, not
crossover?
edition, chapter? No.
Issue?
Issue. Okay, yes. Yeah, manga is chapter. Comic book is issue. Yeah. So it's that it's the whole point of storytelling. Storytelling doesn't happen in 5 pages. It happens over, depending on the material, 40 pages, 50 pages. Like the book I wrote, the romance book that I wrote is about 80 pages deep. The next one that I wrote and might work on at some point, I think it might be longer, just because of the material. So
speaking of comic books, I started working on the Dark Phoenix story.
is it the from back in the 80s, or is it a retelling?
Oh, the original.
Ah, yeah, the Dark Phoenix saga. Man, that saga is so great, and they butchered it twice, and it makes me so mad. Like the story itself is so great. There's a way they could adapt it. Hopefully, knock on wood. The MCU with the grappling holds of the X-Men, they might be able to find a way to retell it in a better fashion.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much a given, considering what they've done so far.
But yeah, what is it? Yeah. Even their bad is still great, good. That's the thing.
Well, the
Even
movie
the
and
low
not
rating
focus so
films
much
are
on
still
the-
enjoyable.
Yeah.
All right. So wings are ordered and pizza is ordered. I got the meatball parm and threw on some spicy sausage. All right. I'm working on our show description too from our past podcast.
I have it already edited and uploaded to Podbean. As soon as I get that description,
Oh yeah.
I can set the release. I've got everything up to the point that podcast episodes will come in like it was like episode 78 will release on Wednesday.
Yeah.
79 will release next Wednesday, and then it's like the other streams are getting lined up for good release windows as well. So art's kind of faded a little bit or rubbed off, or now it's like more detail that I missed. I have to say, I think the hardest thing to paint on these orcs has been the chainmail.
Really? Is it because it's very intricate? From what I can see,
it's intricate, and there's a lot of pits and whatnot, and the stuff kind of bubbles a little bit. So it's really hard to kind of get in there. And then the way the molding kind of shifted, like where it bleeds in from one section, one item to another, it's really hard to kind of that definition between, okay, this is where this item of clothing ends and this is where this next item begins.
I got in a lot of that is definitely, it's looking good though. The orc is coming to life. All that stuff is coming to life. I like it.
I have to try to let these guys dry a bit. But there's some bits and pieces and areas you come back in and kind of touch up and add a bit more. Like, so I'm talking about, like, here seeing the chainmail is like the green of the primer is still coming in because so many pits and quite get it all. It's coming. They are coming together, so that's a good thing. Coming back in and get some of these little details, whatnot. Squad is what, taking 3.5 hours now.
Oh yeah.
To go through the whole squad. I don't think it's terrible.
Did you do any gaming this weekend? Like video gamings?
This weekend, not yet. I want to throw down. I was going to reach out to you about doing some Torchlight later today.
Maybe it but we have this. I have the Super Bowl. I don't know when that's going to end. Maybe tomorrow if you want to try to do it.
Yeah.
Try to figure out how to get the multiplayer to work, because I was sending invites. I don't know if we have to be in the city. I
accepted the invite and everything. I don't know what the deal was.
Maybe working through the kinks, but yeah, we can try again.
Yeah, I'm all for that. I think I'm going to end a little early today so I can get this cleaned up for my next thing.
Awesomeness.
But, yeah, I can tell this dude and his shield is going to be take a little bit more time to go through. But yeah, I think they're definitely starting to come together a lot better.
They look really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, they are looking very fantastic.
Y'all are kind.
I know if I did it, it'd be a splat of a knockoff Picasso painting if I tried, but you know, hey, you are the talented one. I just observe glory.
I am an amateur who's trying to get better, and one of the things I think I was being praised for last night was the fact that I'm willing to sit here on the internet live while I'm doing this, so anybody could come into the comment and just give me a hard time because of my painting. I'm willing to take it. But it's all good. I think this is a great way to spend Sunday morning, kind of hanging out. See how things kind of go from there.
Yeah, definitely wanted to jump in. I know it was a little bit later. Had to get the
It's appreciated. It helps things go. Helps time go by. And again, it's that whole, hey, gonna hang out, gonna chat. Like we had a wonderful discussion about anime and virtual school and all this other stuff. So hopefully that's entertaining and
and lots of squirrel moments and figuring out which pizza to buy. So
who's playing? So important question: who's playing in the Super Bowl today?
Kansas City Chiefs and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
All right. Rye prediction. You being the big sports guy. Rye prediction. What are the chances?
I mean, it's a really tough to nails kind of Super Bowl prediction, because on the one side you have the reigning Super Bowl champions and the Chiefs making it back to the Super Bowl back to back, and their team is better than last year, but they're coming against the grandfather and GOAT of all time, Tom Brady, who has he left the Patriots, went to the Bucks, and he in 1 year took them all the way back to the Super Bowl, and they are loaded on both sides, but. I'm predicting that Kansas City is going to repeat. It's going to be a close game. I think like 35-31. High scoring. It's going to come down to the last play.
All right. We have it on record. We will see if that prediction holds true on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. If not, then it is what it is.
It is what it is, and we'll see how it goes and all of that. Thanks for watching.
So do not get my input.
Say again, May.
I know absolutely nothing about football, so I would not get my input.
That's fine. You don't have to. I barely paid attention this season. I think the most interesting thing for me for this football season was seeing how my team did, and I'm a Seahawks fan, and seeing some of the shenanigans they went through, and that game against the Jets, where it was like 40-something-9, or it was just a complete shutout, just about.
Yeah, my boyfriend's also a Seahawks fan. My family, we're all Washington football team fans. Let's just say that.
That's okay. Yeah. All good. So, with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with us. Tune in Tuesday night, 9 p.m. here on this channel. We're gonna it's Scoob and the Rye live podcast recording. Talk movies, talk games. Should have a guest join us, and kind of see how that conversation flows. Saturdays, of course, are D&D over on twitch.tv/Scuba Studio or Shadow Watch in the morning. Normally we'd have challenge accepted at night, but next Saturday it's not going to have challenge accepted. They're gonna, since it's a holiday weekend of sorts for those couples and whatnot, gonna kind of take the night off from that, and then back here next Sunday. Not sure if we're gonna keep working on the orcs. Leave a comment below if you want me to keep working on the orcs, or pull something out of the vast treasure trove of minis that I have got to work through. Maybe I could start a pirate crew or something. Move on to the Warhammer and continue some Warhammer and paint some Warhammer minis. Options up to you. If you're over, if you want to support, if you like what we're doing and want to support the studio and help us with that, you can. Best way to do that is to go over to Patreon, patreon.com/Scuba Studio, and consider joining as a Patreon there. Get early access to the videos I post online, as well as some updates and back and forth on things that I'm working on. So, teach you to paint, Saladin. I can certainly try. I can certainly try. I'm trying to learn. And you know what? I'm always willing to try. because learning the techniques, and I think somebody once said, it's like learning a technique is one thing. Teaching that technique to someone else shows that you truly understand it. But I don't know if I could teach it, but I can certainly try. Spray can.
You are the pro. I am the oh no.
I am an amateur, and I would love to get an air spray or air sprayer to do some of these, but that's a future project. So, all right, shenanigans aside, have a great afternoon, everybody, and we will see you on our next stream.